He believed his wealth made him untouchable. When a rich young man publicly degraded a hard-working waitress, no one dared to intervene, except a quiet stranger seated in the corner with a German shepherd at his feet. What followed would expose corruption, arrogance, and a catastrophic mistake no one saw coming. The heavy Savannah air clung to the historic streets like a damp blanket, wrapping itself around ancient oak trees draped in Spanish moss. The city moved slowly, deliberately, as if time itself had learned to take breaks here. But for Commander Andrew Walker, rest did not come easily. Years of combat had trained his mind to stay alert, even during peace. Andrew guided his worn Ford F-150 toward the riverfront, the suspension groaning over uneven cobblestone. He cut an imposing figure, broad shoulders filling out a faded gray t-shirt, posture straight, eyes sharp. Those eyes constantly checked mirrors and reflections, a habit forged in hostile territory. Beside him sat Baron, a massive German shepherd with a disciplined stillness. This was no ordinary pet. Baron was a military working dog trained for combat, detection, and protection. His ears flicked at every sound, amber eyes scanning the environment with focused intelligence. They were on mandatory leave, ordered to decompress after a brutal mission overseas. But relaxation felt foreign to Andrew. He pulled into the gravel lot of a small diner with peeling blue paint and a flickering neon sign, the Blue Harbor Diner. It promised simple food and anonymity. That was enough. Inside, the diner smelled of bacon grease, old coffee, and disinfectant. Only a few elderly patrons occupied booths, speaking quietly. Andrew chose a back corner seat with a full view of the room. Baron slid beneath the table, alert but unobtrusive. A young waitress approached. Her name tag read Clara. Exhaustion showed in her posture and the dark circles under her eyes, but she smiled warmly. Andrew ordered black coffee and water for his dog. She hesitated when she saw Baron, then relaxed when she noticed his calm demeanor. They exchanged a few words. Clara mentioned working a double shift. Rent was high, her son needed braces. Andrew recognized the fatigue. He respected it. For a brief moment, peace settled in. Coffee steamed. Sunlight filtered through dusty blinds. Andrew's shoulders eased slightly. Then the silence shattered. A high-performance engine screamed outside, tires skidding against gravel. Baron stiffened instantly, a low rumble vibrating in his chest. Andrew placed a calming hand on his partner. The diner door slammed open. A young man strode in like he owned the place. Designer clothes, expensive sunglasses, arrogance dripping from every step. His name was Brock Sterling. He didn't ask for service. He demanded it. And the calm of the Blue Harbor Diner evaporated. Brock Sterling didn't sit so much as claim his table. He sprawled near the window, tapping a heavy gold ring against the surface as if daring someone to object. Clara approached cautiously, balancing a tray with ice water. Her hands trembled, not from clumsiness but from the hostility radiating off him. As she poured, Brock jerked his arm deliberately, knocking the pitcher aside. Water splashed across the table and soaked his designer shorts. The room froze. He exploded with rage. "You useless idiot!" Brock shouted, leaping to his feet. His voice echoed off the walls as he berated Clara, mocking her job, her intelligence, her worth. She shrank back, clutching the empty pitcher, tears forming in her eyes. No one spoke. Fear kept the diner silent. The Sterling family's money controlled too much in Savannah. Loans, jobs, influence. People had learned to look away. Andrew watched carefully, every instinct alert. Under the table, Baron growled softly, muscles tense. Andrew gave a subtle signal, wait. Brock wasn't finished. He pulled cash from his wallet and tossed it into the puddle on the floor. "Pick it up," he sneered. "That's your tip." Clara hesitated. That money meant rent. Survival. Slowly, humiliatingly, she bent down. When Brock raised his foot as if to kick water, or her hand, that was the line. Andrew stood. He moved fast, crossing the diner in seconds. One moment Clara was exposed, the next she was shielded by a wall of muscle. Andrew didn't shove Brock. He simply stepped into his space, forcing him back. Baron followed silently, sitting at Andrew's heel. Andrew's voice was calm, controlled, lethal in its certainty. "You're done," he said. "Pick it up. Apologize. Leave." Brock tried to laugh, but fear cracked through it. He threatened, name-dropped his father, demanded obedience. Andrew didn't budge. The diners watched, hope flickering where fear had ruled. Brock finally retreated, storming out to his Porsche, humiliated and furious. Outside he made his move. Brock called 911, spinning a lie, claiming Andrew was violent, armed, dangerous that his dog was out of control. He played the victim flawlessly. Inside, Clara begged Andrew to leave. She knew how this town worked. The police would side with Brock. Andrew stayed. Minutes later, sirens screamed toward the diner. Police cars surrounded the lot. Brock pointed wildly, smirking through the window. The door burst open. Guns drawn. Shouting. Chaos. Barron stepped forward defensively. Officers screamed threats. One aimed directly at the dog. Andrew raised his hands. To save Barron, he surrendered. And in that moment, the officers made the worst mistake of their lives. Sergeant Miller led the charge, a bloated ego wrapped in a badge. He barked orders, weapon trained on Andrew, ignoring witnesses, ignoring reason. When Barron moved protectively, Miller threatened to kill him without hesitation. Andrew knew the reality. Any resistance meant death, for his dog, for innocent people. So he did the unthinkable. He commanded Barron to stand down. The dog hesitated, torn between instinct and discipline. Then he obeyed. Andrew knelt. Cuffs snapped onto his wrists with brutal force. The rookies dragged Barron away with a catch-pole. The dog whined in confusion, looking back at Andrew as if asking why. Outside, Brock gloated. But the truth was already spreading. Videos surfaced online. Security footage told the real story. Inside the precinct, rookie officer Sarah Jenkins watched the footage in horror. Miller had lied. Everything Brock claimed was false. In the interrogation room, Miller tried to intimidate Andrew with fake charges. Andrew requested his phone call. He made one call. 20 minutes later, the station doors opened. Colonel Samuel Harrison entered in full dress uniform, authority radiating from every step. The room went silent. "Where is Commander Walker?" he asked. Panic erupted. Miller fumbled. The truth unraveled. Andrew's military ID surfaced. Active duty Navy SEAL commander. The cuffs came off. Orders were given. Miller's badge was stripped. Brock Sterling was charged. Richard Sterling watched the footage of his son's cruelty in stunned silence. The illusion of power shattered. Andrew reunited with Barron in the garage. The dog launched into him, whining, licking, relieved beyond words. Andrew knelt, holding him tightly, whispering apologies. Justice had arrived, not loud, not violent, but undeniable. By morning, Savannah buzzed with the story. The Sterling name no longer inspired fear, it carried shame. Andrew returned to the Blue Harbor Diner. When he entered, the room went quiet, then applause rose. Not celebration but respect. Clara smiled through tears. Andrew paid for his coffee. She refused. Barron received a steak. The diner felt lighter, freer. Andrew finished his coffee, stood and left quietly, just a soldier and his dog moving on. Power, he knew now, wasn't money or influence. It was standing firm. Being disciplined enough to be dangerous, and kind enough not to be.